All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Hockley Valley Skiing History Lesson. I have Murray with me tonight. Murray, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Back
All
in the
right.
Hockley Valley.
Tonight we're going to be talking about the Hockley Valley Resort as it's known today. But back in the day, it did it have more than a couple names, Murray? Or what do you remember the first name of the
Well,
resort?
I hope your listeners are looking at this map, but I am. And the north triangle of that land was, yes, that was Alex Pearson's farm. I don't know his farming background, but he lived right near the road, near the third line. And I don't know the dates, but let's say around the same time that Hockley Valley Ski Club, I guess it was called in early 1960s, happened, where all the white stuff is south of that. He owned the north half and Benny Friedhoff owned the south half. So I'm trying to remember the details. I don't do dates, but sometime back, probably in the 50s, maybe even earlier, uh, somebody built a rope tow. I don't even know if it was the first one, but it was pretty close to that.
So you're talking at one point somebody built a
Right,
rope tow.
right there, yeah.
Okay.
Now I don't know how the land was chopped up, but I know that Ben. Yeah, the lines there are interesting. Um, most of what is now Hockley Valley Resort probably was on, at that time, Alex Pearson's farm, and he had his own little rope, a couple of rope tows called um, Happy Hollow. Happy Hollow. I skied there a few times.
So this at one time was called Happy Hollow?
The north part of it, yes, was called Happy Hollow.
Okay.
That's Alex Pearson's place. He ended up living on the Hockley Road. He said, he retired and built his own house on the Hockley Road on what was his land. So meanwhile, south of that, Benny Friedhoff had bought the place and lost it after Alex Pearson's place, but didn't own it.
Let me just clarify with you. So when you're talking about Pearson, how much land did he own? Or did he own like all this? Did we talk this corner up here?
I don't know exactly what he owned. I suspect that if you go to the line that runs right through the middle of the present Hockley Valley Resort, east-west,
This
that
one?
line, that separates two farms.
Okay.
Difference between lots X and X plus one. I can't remember the numbers, but north of that was Alex Pearson's farm.
Okay. Okay. This
South
way.
of that was what became Hockley Valley Ski Club.
Okay.
They were always, at one another's whatever. They couldn't agree and on who owned what and who could do what with what. So Benny did his own thing, built a bunch of rope tows on his, uh, understandably better terrain, but not as, he wanted more.
So now are you talking about he built rope tows on this section down here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I told you there were 5 of them in a row that I remember going up
All right.
to get to the very top, which is kind of a very 300 feet vertical drop, probably altogether.
Okay. So the Happy Hollow was it this was Happy Hollow and then this was
Well, north of that east-west line, it's not there. North of that was Happy Hollow. Two
okay.
separate little ski resorts.
And then the one down here was called
Hockley Valley Ski Club.
Oh, okay. All right.
My phone can just ring. I'm not going to answer it. So there were these 2 separate ski hills when we first went there, and we skied at both of them. I mean, Hockley Valley Ski Club was much more exciting. It was higher hills and whatever. We skied at both of them before we ever had Valley Shoes.
Okay. Because when I was looking at some of my notes, they had a name for it at one time as the Hockley Hills Resort. Do you remember that name?
Oh yeah, I know
Oh,
all the names. Hockley Valley Ski Club and Happy Hollow were bought by a guy whose name I can't remember, but he was an entrepreneurial guy, and he consolidated the two of them into Hockley Hills Ski Resort.
Oh,